Our whole purpose is unity. And we believe the best way to get there is through love. I know what a lot of people are thinking. You've heard this love thing before, right? I guarantee you we don't talk about love the way that you anticipated or anything that you've heard. Because one, we don't believe in the philosophy of love. We also don't believe in the 5 love languages. But we believe in helping people identify and understand love, and we take them on an uncovering journey. A lot of times we talk about discovery, right? But if something is already in you, that is not a discovery, that's an uncovering. Because organically it's already there. We just need to reveal who we are, right? So we go through an unveiling process, and that's how you understand love. You begin to understand you. We have several different initiatives that we have. One of them we talked about already, which is brother empowerment. And the whole purpose of brother empowerment is to uplift and empower brothers, to combat the negative stigma that we are in competition with one another, to look at things in a different way, to combat misogyny, gender inequality, domestic violence, and rape culture. Because a lot of those things we subscribe to, we're not realizing that we may do it. We say, oh, he's just being a man, or oh, she's just being a woman, not realizing that there's an undertone that could be negative for both of us, right? So it's having that conversation, having a different look, and realizing and learning from that, if I become better, I can then impact those that I'm around, and then my community and surrounding become better. Okay? Then we have another initiative that we help smaller businesses with, our marketing initiative, which is our Creative and Design Center, where we help smaller businesses with low-level marketing. Just because we don't have the money, we don't have to look broke, right?
That's right. Yes.
So I'm that guy who would probably be your friend on social media and say, why you put that flyer out there? You know, because a lot of times we're connected and we just won't ask the question. Like, hey, can you help me with this, or how does this look? And I'm not anti-selfie, I'm just anti-selfie look. There's a way to prop that angle, and I can show you how to make it look professional, and it can save you so much money. But I better not see that picture of you talking about come to your branding event, and I see the toilet in the background. We're not about to have that, so we definitely do help people with that. And then our baby is our Levels of Parable training program. It's an 8-week program, 5 weeks of instruction. We meet for 1 day a week, and that 1 day is about 2 hours. And then we have a 2-week break where we have an opportunity to do what is called a kindness project. Once those things are completed, we come back in the 8th week for graduation, but there's also 40 days of affirmations and writing prompts. So we're serious about this love thing. I know you said, well, what qualifies you to talk about love and talk about any of this? Well, I'm glad you asked. We have over 19 years of higher ed education. There's a nice term that they use in the education sector. It's called andragogy. Say andragogy.
Andragogy.
It sounds fancy, don't it? All that means is that I work with adult learners because you got pedagogy, which is for children, and andragogy is for adults. On top of that, I have a master's in health services administration with a minor in community rec, therapeutic rec, and music education, which is my undergrad. And I've worked in behavioral health for several years, and then when I came out of behavioral health, I actually taught behavioral health and healthcare administration. So a lot of that went into this curriculum, and then my wife was a clinical counselor for several years, and she too, we have the same master's. And she actually worked in healthcare, but she's in compliance now. So we put all of our experience over nearly 20 years of andragogy experience, over a decade of working in behavioral health, but also over 15 years of instructional experience went into the design of our curriculum. So I feel like anytime anybody asks us, no matter what it is, whether it's business or it's personal, I'm going to talk to you about love. Why? Because we've been lied to about love, guys. If you really think about it, I can tell you the first lie that we've been taught about life. They say keep your professional life professional and your personal life personal. But what happens when you don't get that check on that job? That's going to mess up your personal life, right? What happens when you have a bad day at work? So the biggest lie we was told is that we can separate those things. There's a way to process and synthesize it. And also we have been told, how many times have y'all heard people say, I've tried love before. I ain't going to do that thing no more. How many times have y'all heard that one? Mm-hmm. We already talked about the 5 love languages. How many arguments have you gotten into with somebody about the 5 love languages? because you're not giving me the quality time that I need. You don't hear me. Where are my gifts? You know, so we go through all of that, but the reason why we don't believe in the 4 types of love that are from the Greco-Roman philosophy, we've all heard it before. You got the storge, eros, phileo, and agape, right? If you're raised in the Bible Belt in the South, you heard that agape love is only the love that God has for his people. How many people heard that? See, we're not even good enough to have that unconditional love, right? But then you got eros, which is a romantic type of love. Phileo is the love that you have for a friend. And then you have storge, which is the love you have for family. Then you go through the 5 love languages. What are the 5 love languages? You got affirmation, quality time, acts of service,
physical touch,
which I feel horribly. Quality time. That's all 5?
Yes.
Okay. What was the purpose of the 5 love languages?
Better communication
with
the partners.
With your partners. What was the purpose of the 4 types of love?
Better communication too. To understand them.
Right. But guess what? None of them talk about you. Ever since we've come into this world, we have been conditioned to deny ourselves. How do we know this? When we're very small, when you have children, I think the children think their name is no. Because think about it. No, don't do that. Stop. What we're teaching actually is, even though we're trying to help them, but we're teaching them to deny their natural impulse, to deny their natural instinct. We're teaching them assimilation, but we say, guess what? I'm trying to protect you. So you go through life denying your instinct, denying your inner voice. So when it's time to hear your voice, guess what we do? We go outward instead of going in. We get this whole council of people that usually advise us wrong, and then we'll sit in our kitchen or in the bathroom and say, something told me not to listen to them. But that's something that is inside of you, is your instinct that you have been denying for so long. So subconsciously, you have developed a behavior to not trust yourself, and you walk around and say, I have trust issues. But the trust issue isn't external, it's internal, because every time your gut tells you to do something, you deny it. So that's why we're going to talk about tonight, understanding the love factor. 3 things I want you to understand: that love answers, love lifts, and love opens. 3 things I want you to understand about that. Love answers, love lifts, and love opens. Next slide. Okay. So here it goes. What is love? Can somebody who has a wonderful voice read that for me?
No matter what is love? No matter where you come from, there is one language we can all speak and understand from birth. The language of the heart, love.
What are your thoughts?
That makes sense.
What about you?
What about me?
Especially you. You've been talking to me but not saying any words. And so I'm like, I'm going to talk to her because she's talking to me and not even saying any words. What does that say to you? And tell me your name. What's your name?
It's Laurice.
Laurice.
ReCity, like the peanut butter cup.
And that's my favorite candy.
Is it?
Look how love did that
That's what love is.
thing. Yeah, love did it.
But it's just speaking to me that it's natural. Love is natural. It's just something, that's in our heart, that as we grow, it's just amazing, even like, and I'm not trying to take over your thing, but it's just amazing how a baby knows how to just connect. And I think that's, to the mom and parents, I just think that there's just really something in the heart that teaches that we're naturally born to love. And then, like you said, with some of the things that we deny ourselves with, it causes us not to experience different things.
And we've always been taught that this thing of war is like malicious or somebody purposely coming. Usually the people that hurt us the most are the ones who didn't mean to hurt us. Mm-hmm. The first people that teach us to deny ourselves is like our parents. They don't mean to hurt us. They don't mean to teach us to deny ourselves. But guess what? We learn to assimilate out of survival. And so the things that I had as a baby, the pure things, through life, as we grow older, have you ever noticed how affectionate children are? They'll just go meet anybody and just start playing. But the older we get, we're like, they too nice. Why is she smiling all the time? Why does she look like that?
Nobody that happy.
Yeah. Oh, the one I hate the most. This too good to be true. Right? But we'll say the same thing like karma against you. We say karma as if it only works for bad things, right?
Correct.
Or we'll say you reap what you sow. So why is it that you can't reap good if you sow good?
Correct.
We don't think about the contradictory statements that we say.
Preach, Pastor.
We don't think about how things knock us from being who we are. And the one thing about it is, I guarantee you, I have never met, I have even Google searched it. There was somebody said, I don't want to be around people because they love me too much. Nobody has never said that. Can you think of a time? Let me leave because these people just...
You recently said that about me.
You love them too much? I need you to put that on Google so I can have it.
I know he doesn't mean that.
So
He will learn.
this is one with my family. One thing that we grew up with was love. Regardless to what we had or what we were going through was love. So whether we was rich, had little or nothing, we had love. And so we were rich. So moving to getting married. And because my ex-husband wasn't used to having genuine love, his exact words was that nobody family loves like this. Your family is a fake. And it was because he never experienced it. Now, my sister ex-husband said the same identical thing, and they were never around each other, period. He said that nobody family is this genuine, and he was like, y'all are phony. Our family cliche is bonded by love, bonded by blood, but linked by love. And that is the premises of our family. This is what holds us together. This is why we stay in touch. My husband, he can tell you the same. The things that love does. Love is a powerful force.
I agree. And out of all of that, I'm so grateful that you gave the example of your family. But those two husbands, we have grown to be skeptics of those things that are pure. Because we're so many times working with Love is a Parable, we've been around for about 2 years. Well, now we're going into our 3rd year. Isn't that amazing? Yeah, we've been around for 2 years, going into our 3rd year, and one of the things that we get all the time is this real? You know, or people were like, well, how do your wife feel about you? Blah, blah, blah. Well, my wife is not in competition. Me, my wife's place. My wife's place is not compromised because I'm showing you true love. Now, what we have to get out of our mind is physical attraction.
Yes.
What we have to get out of our mind is commitment. See, I made a decision to be committed to my wife. The love is another component, but love is separate from commitment. But we have gone to a place where we put everything together. Everything that's good, we put it as love. Well, if he loved you, he would. No. Love can stand alone. A person. But we have been conditioned that all of that is in love. When was the last time you heard somebody blame the water for bad lemonade?
Never.
Well, why do we do the opposite when it comes to love?
It's
Why do we do
genuine,
that?
and it's foreign to them. That's why.
Because we have to accept the fact, too, that we may have been told some things that are not right. Think about some lessons that you've learned and things that you used to do. Like my favorite was in a penny and put it on the foot. It'll suck it out. That's what my grandma did. That was my great-grandma did. And it was like, that's what you need to do.
Yep.
That ain't no scientific proof that it worked. But they did. And because they believed it worked, they thought it worked.
Yeah.
But as you grow older, you're like, I'm not finna expose my family to no salmonella. But it's all those things because it had to be raw.
Yes.
But these are things that you've learned along the way, and it wasn't that nobody meant anything wrong. Is that it is a language that's understood when it's not even spoken. Mm-hmm. Like, I just felt the love from ReCity. I didn't know she was going to be my peanut butter. But something said she was speaking to me, and I listened to it. Mm-hmm. A lot of times, your instincts will tell you exactly what to do, but you say no. So a lot of times, we missed opportunities because we second-guessed that instinct that said go, or that instinct that said no. One of the things, Cordell is in the back. Yes, he's my co-host with Brother Empowerment, but he's also the Chief Technology Officer of Love is a Parable, along with the Secretary of our board. And one of our things in our business model is to trust your instinct. If we have a meeting and there's too much confusion, we say, guess what? That means we're not supposed to do it right now. The same thing happens in my life, with me and my wife and my children. Cordell done been there. If we have a disagreement, the whole house shut down until we don't want to call it. That means nobody go to church, nobody go to school, nobody go to work, because nothing is more important. Because what happens in misunderstandings is chaos. Yes. And if you say we'll just talk about it later, you have had time to change the narrative because you have thought about it. And as you think about it, the story end up changing. All of a sudden, they done yelled at you. At first, it was a disagreement. Now they done yelled at you. Now they done doing some cuss words, and none of that happened. But what happened is we went into our own spiritual church service with that incident by ourselves, and now we worshiped up something that wasn't supposed to be there. Mm-hmm. Hit next for me. Go ahead. Next for me again. Now, we talked about this already, right? Mm-hmm. Things that I want you to realize. It's nearly 7 billion people in this world. 7,000 spoken languages right now, present day. Right? Mm-hmm. But there are approximately 30 definitions for love. What does that tell us?
Everybody got their own definition.
Yeah.
Do everybody got their own definition? 7 billion. Mm-hmm. 7,000 spoken languages, but only 30 definitions. What does that mean? Think the other way.
There's not enough definitions. They do have their own segments, so.
Right. Somebody else take a stab at it. You getting there. You getting there, and I saw it. This is proof that we have more in common than we realize already. Out of 7,000 spoken languages, we only have approximately 30 definitions for love. We actually agree more than we disagree. And it's understood through various forms of language. Different. But actually, we are more alike than we realize. A smile is understood in every language.
Yep.
Right? Yeah. Go to the next one. And here it goes. This is one of my favorite. Yep, when I used to teach psychology class, this used to be the one. Right? Now listen, the real name is like Renee DeCross, but I mess it up all the time. So we always say DeGartes, but that's wrong. I think, what does it mean?
Whatever you think, that's what you are.
Okay. Anybody else want to take a stab at it?
Your belief system is a driver.
Right? So what must you do first?
Believe in yourself.
It's a step even before that.
Recognize it.
Step even before that.
Want it.
Step even before that.
I don't know.
Tell us about that step.
No. The thing is that,
You think.
Thank you. It was right. The question is, who are you?
Whatever I want.
But what is that whatever?
A billionaire.
Okay.
That's yes, a billionaire.
See,
I didn't say million, billion.
I'm going to go to the scripture. Her finances in forbearance. That's the word.
Right now.
But for real, we have to think. Think is a process that you go through. But guess what? You can't think without words. Their internal turns into an action.
True.
So what are you saying about yourself? Can I tell you one number one killer that people say all the time? And I roll my eyes right in front of them, I ain't gonna lie. I don't love who I am, but I love who I'm becoming.
Oh, I'm so glad I never said that.
People say that all the time. I love who I'm becoming. I'm like, if you don't love who you are now, you will never love who you becoming.
Yeah.
But people don't think about the things that they're saying. I'm not worthy of love right now. I'm skeptical of love. I don't believe love should be afforded to me right now. Simple things that add to the big things, and we think, oh, that's just innocent. I understand, I can relate to it. Yeah, but we can relate to our own abuse. We can relate to pain and keep that happening. Think about it. It was something so powerful a young lady had on our show. She said, we got to end the process of trauma bonding. We bond through our traumatic experiences and they connect us. Like if you look at a lot of these empowerment movements, they're really not about empowerment. They're really about separatism and complaining and dogging people. If I'm going to empower you, I shouldn't have to empower you at the expense of somebody else. Your greatness is not levied on somebody else. Here's the next one. You read this for me first, lady?
A violent crime was committed every 26.3 seconds. A murder occurred every 33.5 minutes. A rape every 4.2 minutes. A robbery every 1.6 minutes. And an aggravated assault every 41.3 seconds. A property crime offense was committed every 3.9 seconds. A burglary offense occurred every 20 seconds. A larceny theft every 5.5 seconds. And a motor vehicle theft every 46.6 seconds.
What does that tell us? Huh? There's a lot of crime. What else does it tell us?
Life is short.
Life is short.
A lot of hurt people out there that hurt other people. That's what it tells me. That's all I see with other numbers.
One of the things my mom used to always say, like, why you gotta be so hard-headed? She's telling me that all the time. Because if I believe it, I'm gonna go after it. If these statistics are telling me this is what's happening, this is ammunition for me to say how much love we need to give.
Correct.
Because guess what it starts with? It starts with simple things like denying self.
Yeah.
We deny ourselves so much, we judge somebody who know who they are.
Yes. That's true.
And it's so funny because I'm one of the people that I realized this through my wife because she always trying to diagnose me with something. But I realized that I love extreme personalities. So like if you are a total introvert or a total extrovert, I love you. If you like arrogant, I love it. I'm like, hey. And she's like, and most of the time they say people judge me for being, I love it. And I realize the people that are in between, I'm very skeptical of them because I realize, this is what I realize. When people are inconsistent, they're untrustworthy. If you don't trust yourself, I know I can't trust me with you. But when a person is confident, and a lot of times we call a person arrogant just because we're not used to that behavior. Just because we're not used to seeing it, because we have been taught. I can say this, and I talk about this in my family. When you grow up in a religious family, they say you're supposed to deny yourself, right? And you're supposed to take on the Lord. But in denying yourself, they miss this point. If you deny yourself, how can you be used? What you deny are the distractions that get in your way from being you. Because you have a purpose. But if you deny the total you, your purpose will not be fulfilled, and somebody is going to die because you're not in the place that you need to be in. There's somebody who's waiting to hear your voice. There's somebody that's waiting on your text message. There's somebody who's waiting on you to finish writing that book. There's somebody who's waiting on you to really just get up and tell your story and not try to rehearse it and not try to package it, because the real you is what they're waiting on. People are dying every day. These statistics are happening because we have people who are not in purpose. Start thinking about that. Don't worry about what other people say, because here's the thing. Your instinct doesn't have to always make sense. Them people who always are trying to rationalize something will cause you to miss you every time. Because how can I define something that is indescribable? Why would I waste my time putting a word to define you when you're so incredibly made that that'd be a waste of time where I could just be getting to know you? Why? We worry about the wrong thing. We really do. Like I tell them all the time on the board, if I have a board member, that means I trusted you to be a board member. If I can't trust you, I don't need you here. So if I look at him about something that's technology, I expect him to tell me. And if it's something messed up, I ain't got to say, see, you messed up. He'd be like, my bad. Yeah, lose your bad. Now, I might rub it in a little bit. But it's all love. But that's the thing. If we're going to trust, trust. If you're going to love, love. Stop putting all these expectations, because the expectations and standards are for you, not for that person to fulfill. Because a lot of times, most of the time, we mad at somebody because they fulfilled an expectation they didn't even know was there. How you got people signing up for stuff and they don't even know they signed up for it? If you love me, you're supposed to do this. Nope, if I love you, I'm not supposed to do that. If I love you, I'm supposed to love you. Now, if you want me to be a business partner, that's something different. But we have put all of these conditions in place, then we fail to communicate. So we fail to see the real opportunity, like we already talked about. We all come from different walks of life. One of the funny things, like my family, my mama said she'd tell you, we just was a naked family. Like, everybody just walking around naked. Like, as soon as they come in the door, it's like, clothes off. My mother always, and my youngest is the same way. It's so bad, we be like, listen, we got company coming. She like, Todd, do I have to, well, can I just wear a long shirt? But it's so bad. But my favorite cousin married my best friend.